Hey everybody, Zach Wolf here with another great Top 5 Tuesday. This week on Top 5 Tuesday, it's the top 5 things you need to know about the reasonable geographic area requirement in Texas non-compete law. If you've watched my non-compete videos on this channel, you probably heard something about this reasonable geographic area issue. Well, I'm going to hit the 5 key things you need to know about it. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 5 is that you need to have one. You'd be surprised, I still see some non-competes that don't have a reasonable geographic area or don't have any geographic area at all. That's usually a mistake. Now, there might be a few occasions when you don't have any geographic area, and I'm going to get to that. But in the vast majority of cases, you really should have some geographic limitation in your non-compete. Number 4 is that the reasonable geographic area requirement is in the Texas statute. It's right there in section 15.50 of the Texas Business and Commerce Code. You need to have, according to the statute, reasonable limitations on time, scope of activity, and geographic area. Number 3 is to understand the origin and purpose of the reasonable geographic area requirement in the statute. The origin of it is that geographic area is often tied to customer goodwill. You can go back to an early case where there was a non-compete about an ice delivery service, and the court reasoned that the reasonable geographic area needed to coincide with the area where the employee delivered ice to customers. The idea was that's the area where the employee would have developed goodwill with customers, and so if the purpose is to protect company goodwill, then the non-compete should be limited to the geographic area where that employee worked. Number 2 is closely related to number 3. And that is what I call the sales territory rule. Remember, the purpose generally is to protect customer goodwill. So Texas courts have said that generally for sales employees, the reasonable geographic area needs to coincide with the sales territory the employee was responsible for. And finally, number 1 is what I call the holistic rule. Now, the holistic rule is a little bit of an exception to the sales territory rule. What the holistic rule says is that you cannot look at a reasonable geographic area in isolation from other issues. So, for example, if you have a high-level executive who has access to all of the company's confidential information, that may justify having a much broader geographic area or even no geographic limitation at all. Similarly, if the non-compete has a narrow scope of activity that it restrains, that may justify having a broader geographic area. So for example, if you have a non-compete that is limited to prohibiting solicitation of a very narrow group of customers, then it may be more reasonable to have a broad geographic area such as the entire United States or North America or something like that. So those are my top 5 things you need to know about the reasonable geographic area requirement. Now, some of you are probably saying, wait a minute, I want to see some case sites to back up all these generalizations you're making about this. Well, you can find those case sites at my blog posts on this topic. Check the description for links to the blog posts, and you can find all the case sites you desire. Anyway, if you like the video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, or even better, share this with a friend. And hey, thanks for watching.